I'm joined here today by the one and only John Salter, coming off the win, of course, at Bellator 233 against Costello Van Steenis this past weekend. Thank you so much for joining me, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. And let's talk about this fight a little bit. Obviously, you fought someone that was young and hungry in Costello. What were your thoughts on him kind of going into this fight?
I knew, that this is going to be a tough fight, and there's nowhere that he's not good. He's got a lot of wins by submission. He's got some knockout wins. I knew he had a lot of power, and really had a big game plan of not ending up in the third round the way it was. But I was able to make those first two, so that's what really mattered.
And was this a very dangerous fight for you? Not just because of his style, of course, but the fact that he is a young up and comer. Maybe some of the more mainstream fans don't really know him. Was this kind of a dangerous fight for you in terms of getting back to the title and all that stuff?
I think so. Just because like you say, he's really hungry. He's 27. He's super hungry. He wants to be at the top of the division, and he's a really good fighter. It's not like he's a guy who's just pretty good at hungry. He's really good. So I knew it was going to be a very dangerous fight. And like you said, he's not a super well-known guy, but I was having trouble getting fights, and he called me out online. So I figured that was a good fight. If anybody's willing to fight me, I take a fight. So that's how it worked out, and happy with the way it did. I think we put on a good show.
Yeah, I do remember him calling you out a lot. What did you think when you saw that? Were you quick to dismiss it, or was this something where you're like, well, maybe this could be interesting?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was having trouble getting fights, and that was, that's a frustration always. I want to fight as much as possible and stay busy. So when he was calling me out, I looked at it almost as a positive because it was, somebody that was willing to fight me, somebody that was going to go out there and fight hard. And it may not have been the best fight anybody's ever seen, but I think it was entertaining.
And so, what do you think of your performance in the fight? Obviously, we saw the first two rounds went your way. The third fight, not quite. But what did you make of your performance in that fight?
I'm not the most happy I've ever been after a fight with myself. Obviously, I'm never looking to be a guy who just holds people down, trying to finish people, trying to land big shots on the ground and hurt them and make them want to get out of there. But that was just, it comes down to he's a really tough fighter that was really hard to get out of there. Like I said, I mean, I'm not happy with the way I competed, but I don't think it was necessarily me not fighting well. It's just him being really tough. And it was, is what it is. Like I said, I wanted to get him out of there, couldn't do it. He was too good of a fighter. And, ended up going to that third round, and it was just kind of hang on mode there, at that point. I got hit early in the fight. That kind of zapped my legs. So I didn't have the absolute best performance after that. I got tired than I thought I would. And at the end, it was more of just got to get one takedown to secure the fight. And I'm never wanting to be a guy who's hanging on for a win, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
And were you surprised that he was able to hang with you on the ground? Because we saw you trying to get the submission, trying to get him out of there. These past couple of fights, you've been finishing everyone by submission. Were you surprised that him, and people like to think of him as a kickboxer, but were you surprised he was able to hang on the ground?
People talk about him like he's a kickboxer, but he's a grappler. You look at any of his fights, he takes people down. He's always trying to out-grapple everyone. So I don't really think of him as being a strict kickboxer. I think he's a pretty good grappler. I knew he was going to be good coming into that, and I think he's got just as many submission wins as he does wins any other way. So I expected that to be really tough. And he fought Chris Honeycutt and went to a split decision with Honeycutt. He ended up winning that. I thought Honeycutt had won that fight, but even with Honeycutt, he wrestled well. He got 2 takedowns against Honeycutt and was able to get up every time he got put down. So I knew it wasn't going to be a guy I just ran through on the ground. It doesn't matter how good your jiu-jitsu is. When you get these really game guys like that, they're hard to finish.
I know you mentioned his submission victories and everything. Was that something you were thinking about before the fight? Like maybe we need to be careful on the ground, or are you just at this point so confident in your ground game that it's not really a factor?
I wasn't worried about getting in bad positions on the ground. I wasn't worried about ending up any kind of submissions or anything like that. I just knew he's going to be a guy that's going to be really hard to finish.
And so now you are 2-0 after the fight with Rafael Lovato. What does this kind of put you in the career and sort of in the title picture? Because we know he was Gegard Mousasi's protege. I mean, how much closer does this fight put you to the title?
I think right there, I'm supposed to make 7-1 in Bellator now, 17-4 overall. Um, I've done a pretty good run through Bellator. I've had some fights with guys that maybe weren't at the top of the division, but with a win, beating Brandon Halsey the way I did, beating Chidi Nchkwani, Kim McGraw, and now this fight, and me and Lovato had a really close fight going into that third round. I think that should keep me right down the top of the division.
And I do want to talk to you about your former opponent Lovato a little bit because he did become champion a little bit ago against Gegard Mousasi. Were you surprised to see him be champion, or was this someone that you were kind of thinking we could possibly see him with the belt?
I thought there's a real possibility he's going to be Mousasi. You're talking about Lovato still competes in jiu-jitsu against guys that are considered the top in the world and still beat him. So Lovato's still one of those top 5 guys in the world in jiu-jitsu, and he's 6'4". He's been boxing since he's a little kid. There's no easy way around Lovato, and he was, I knew as soon as he got the first takedown on Mousasi was going to have a tough night.
And I'm sure because you fought him before, you've kind of thought about, if you get the rematch, how you would beat him. But what do you think would be the way for someone to beat him? Is it by keeping it on the feet? Is there possibly a strategy on the ground? I mean, what do you sort of think of that?
I think unless you're an extremely high-level grappler, it's got to be beating him on the feet. On the ground, you got to be on top. You can't be on bottom. You saw in our fight, as long as I was on top, I was okay. The second I ended up in bottom, I was in, big trouble. He's a guy that finds a way to the back and he finds a way into the chin. And even in our fight, I thought I was safe when in that, with the rear naked choke. I think I was too relaxed. I'm not going to get choked from here, but I can have people on my back all day. It's not going to finish me. And he just had such a strong squeeze that it went from I thought I was fine to it was over.
And before heading into this fight with Costello, I was seeing a few articles, some headlines that were saying, kind of focusing on your age and stuff like that. What do you make of things like that? I mean, is it true that maybe you are towards the end of your career, or is that just kind of a storyline that went out there because you were fighting a young guy?
I think, I didn't really see a whole lot of people talking about that, but Lovato's older than I am, and he's the champ. At one time, the majority of the champs in the UFC were all over 35. So I'm 34. I think I got a few more years of prime. I don't want to be a guy that's just hanging on and fighting when I shouldn't. But I beat a pretty good up-and-comer this weekend and dominated him for 2 rounds. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Right. You did mention in the fight that you weren't too happy with, I guess, overall. What happened sort of in that third round? Because we saw the tides did change. What sort of happened out there?
Number one, I got to give him a lot of credit. He's just a hard guy to control. Everybody can ask you, what went wrong, what went wrong. He's a very good fighter. It's not like I'm fighting somebody who's, ranked 50th in the world or something like that. He's a very good fighter. But at the same time, I think there was some mistakes that I made in the fight. I think, the whole deal with keeping people down is you got to stay relaxed when you do it. If not, you're overexerting yourself, you're exhausted. He hit me early in the fight pretty hard. That kind of put me in that panic mode of I need to make sure I keep him down. I don't need him on his feet. And that fatigued me more than I should have been. Normally I should be coming out of the first round fresh. I was pretty tired at the end of the first round. Put him on his back in the second round and ended up taking his back. I landed some big knees on the ground and took his back, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'm slowly breaking him. He's going to want out of here. I'm going to put him away here. Because, guys, that's a tough thing to fight through. I'm really surprised he took those knees to the ribs, and I took his back, and he still didn't want out. And I got under his chin, and the place erupted, And as soon as I hear they go crazy, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I got him now, I really, I think what people don't realize in a choke is, you're choking, you're also extending the body. So it's like doing a deadlift. And, everybody thinks of wearing your arms out. You also wear your legs, your back, and everything. You're out, extending the body. And I think that's kind of what happened. I didn't get that choke, and I kind of felt everything drained. And he got back up. I took him back down, mounted him, had him in an arm triangle, but I knew I didn't have time to finish that. And I was pretty shot at the end of that. I knew that third round was probably going to be ugly. and I just need to get on top. And it took me about 3.5 minutes to get on top, and that was 3.5 minutes of him unleashing on me.
You were telling us physically what happens when you don't finish that choke and how it tires your body out. What does it do for you mentally when you think that you're on the verge of finishing this guy and all of a sudden you don't get the finish? What does that do for you mentally?
That's what I'm a little mad at myself for. Is I'm a veteran in there. I should be able to just relax and fight through it. But when you think you've got to finish and then you don't get it, it's hard. It's it drains you a little bit. You get a little frustrated about it. And I let myself get a little more frustrated than I should have. I should have stayed calm. But this is a learning experience again. I've gone for a long time. As soon as I think I've got the finish, I've got the finish. And I haven't had that adversity in a while. And so it's good. I think that was building because, if I fight Lovato or Masasi, I'm going to hit adversity. It's not going to be a finish them when I get in good position kind of fight. So I think that's something I needed.
And so at this point, you're on a 2-fight winning streak. You mentioned that you've had trouble getting fights. What do you think's next for you at your career at this point? Is it about potentially fighting Musasi, potentially fighting Lovato? Is it another contender? Is it another young guy like Van Steenis? I mean, what do you think is next for you at this point?
I guess it's really going to come down to I got to sit down and have a lot of conversations with Bellator on what we can do next. I'm not ruling anything out right now. I'd love to fight for the title. That's my goal. But I'm not going to sit on the sideline and wait for it any longer than I have to. So if they're telling me I've got to wait, 6-8 months for something like that, but I can take another fight sooner, I'll take another fight sooner. I want to stay busy because my goal in my career is to be the champ. But ultimately, I've also got to make money, and so fights so I make money.
All right, I have just one more for you. When do you think we'll see you back again in the Bellator cage?
I hope sooner rather than later. I'm going to enjoy the holidays, and then I'll be training through the holidays, but with nothing particular in mind. And then as soon as Christmas is over, I'll be right back looking for fights and ready to go. So, you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to be ready to fight because it takes a lot to put a fight together. But I'll be ready.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what's next for you. Thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it, and congratulations on the victory.
All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.